What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Gamer Genius TV with me, that guy that you know and love, Eldris. What's up? Just a little bit of Daft Punk there for you in the intro. I hope you enjoyed that. You need to check out their new album, Random Access Memories. It is fantastic. I've always been a Daft Punk fan, and I would love to go see one of their shows. So if you have free tickets, please don't hesitate to mail them to me. Also, I have my delicious cup of coffee, as always. Very good stuff. Good stuff. Very good, very cheap coffee, because I am poor. However, that's okay, because today we have StarCraft 2. I know you're excited. However, today I do not have my typical replay. I actually have a new show for you. Ooh. I have a friend who is currently in Bronze, a brand new player, and I'm going to be teaching him and you how to no longer be Bronze. Leveling up, that is, not down. We want to go up, down, up. We're going to do it. So here he is, the one, the only, the immutable Ripper. What's up, man?
Hello, Idris. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. I am a little bit sunburned, as you can plainly see. I do work outside vigorously, and I have the sunburn to show for it. However, that's okay, because today I've got some StarCraft 2, and I've got you.
All right.
It's good stuff, right?
It's great stuff.
So tell me, how are you enjoying StarCraft 2 thus far?
It's interesting. It's challenging. It's just what I kind of like about it. So,
It's definitely challenging, that's for sure. It is the most complex RTS I have ever played. And you know, actually, your camera's looking pretty damn good now. It was in 240p mode not too long ago. It's a little stuttery, but you know what? That's okay, because we can still see you. You can still nod. Give me that gangsta nod. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do, as I explained, is do some coaching for you. We're going to get you better. We will be getting you into silver. That is the main objective. At this time, however, being a brand new player, what we're going to be focusing on is just the very, very basics of the game. And I'm going to go ahead and break that down for you now with some notes. So my very first item on the list is play through the campaign. If you are a brand new player to StarCraft 2, I definitely recommend that the very first thing you do is play through the campaign, or the campaigns if you have the expansion Heart of the Swarm. Not only are they amazingly fun to play, but they do help you gradually learn the very basics of the game through interactively. They let you play through it, and you get a good idea of what you need to do, and they keep it simple and then progress gradually as you go through. Now, there are some things in the campaign that you cannot do in multiplayer StarCraft. They give you some extra abilities with units, some extra units in general, especially in Heart of the Swarm, where you get to play as Kerrigan. She has all these extra powers, makes her super badass. Also, all the other units have the ability to become greater than they actually are. But, like I said, it's amazing fun, and it does help immensely. The second item is to play some micro-oriented challenges, such as StarCraft Master, which you can find either in custom games or in the arcade. I'm not sure where it is now. There is also an arcade game called Micro something or other. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it gives you specific challenges that are very micro based, and that'll help you a lot with micro challenges, as well as understanding the way each units can interact with opposing units. There is also a challenge based in StarCraft 2 itself. It has a challenge mode that has you go up against different sets of units versus an opposing race's sets of units, and that kind of gives you an idea which units are better against other ones, and how they interact, how they're able to destroy those units, and how well they're able to survive against those units. So I definitely recommend doing that as well. The third item I have is watch pros play. Find a professional player that you enjoy, whose personality you enjoy, and who is of the same race that you play, and just watch them. You'll get such a good idea of the skill cap for the game. You'll get an amazing idea for the way that they play, and you'll be able to take some of that and kind of emulate it in your own games. And that just helps you kind of incrementally get better at doing those kind of things, and it'll help you later on experiment as well. So the fourth thing is practice, practice, practice. If you want to be good at this game, then you definitely have to put in some hours. You definitely have to practice. The good thing about that, however, is that this game is fun. This game is awesome fun. Love it. You can use the AI custom games to practice and refine builds before you get on ladder, so you have a better idea how to build things, when to build things, and then once you get on ladder, you can put those into practice and see how they work against an actual human opponent, which is always fun too. And the fifth most important thing is have fun. If you're not having fun in the game, then you're doing something wrong and you need to be shot. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but you should always have fun. It's a game. Always remember that. When you're feeling, after taking a bad loss and you're just feeling so bad and all angry and you're ready to punch through your monitor, just kind of take it back a step and remember that it's just a game, and that especially playing on ladder should be about learning rather than winning. So keep that in mind and have fun. So my next notes are going to be a little bit more specific. These are the 3 biggest things that you need to look at as a beginning player, and they will help you a lot if you abide by these. And we have them here. First one is constant worker production. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, let me step back and ask you, Ripper, how do you feel about the first part that I went over, playing through the campaign, the micro challenges, watch a pro, practice, and have fun? How do you feel about all of these things? I know you haven't played through the entire campaign, and I know that you haven't played the StarCraft Master or micro things, but just overall, how do you feel about that?
I think that's good advice. I've been watching pro games go on, and I played through some of the campaign, and that's really helped me a lot.
That's good. Good to hear. And that's something too that we'll get to at a later episode. Actually doing the micro stuff. That's a little less important than learning the macro, which is what we're going to be looking at mostly today. And I do remember that we watched the WCS Americas together. That was some pretty sick games. Moonglade actually got out of that tournament. That's who I was rooting for. He ended up beating the STC and Apocalypse, which was pretty cool. And of course, Crank dominated all of them. Okay, so on to the next part. The big 3 parts of playing, and specifically of macro. The first thing is constant worker production. You always, especially as Protoss and Terran, not as much as Zerg, actually not really at all as Zerg, but as Protoss and Terran, you constantly need to be making workers up until a point where the build specifically calls for you to stop. And that just depends on what build you're doing. If you're doing a 1-base build, you may need to stop at a certain worker count, and you can't make any more so that you have the money to spend on units rather than workers. But if you are playing a full-on macro game, then you have to keep producing workers up to, I'd say about 65 is going to be your optimal production. You always want to have at least 16 to 18 on your minerals, and 3 in each gas geyser. I know in the game it says 24 on your mineral patches, but that's because most mineral patches are a group of 8 individual patches, and ideally you want to have 3 on each. But the thing is, when they're mineral patches that are a little bit closer to your command center or nexus, then they will be, you'll have one worker come up to the mineral patch, start mining, and then take it back just as the next worker gets there and starts mining. If you have 3 there, there's not going to be any room as these two switch out on that same mineral patch. You will have room on I think 2 mineral patches, which are a little bit farther away on most maps. But the idea is to have 16 workers on minerals and then 3 on each gas. That's the optimal. The second part is preventing supply blocks. That means never getting supply blocked, either because your opponent has destroyed your supply facilities, your supply depots, or pylons or overlords. You want to avoid those at all costs, because it's really bad to get supply blocked in the middle of a battle, preventing you from getting your reinforcements out, or because if it's not because they get destroyed, you have a very hard time following a build if you get supply blocked, because then you're not able to get out units at the right times, and everything in your build after that just gets slowed down. And of course, StarCraft is all about speed, really. It's not all about speed, but a very large part of it is your speed, and you need to be able to get things in the correct timing. So the third thing, which is, in my opinion, the most important and the biggest guideline that anybody can take away: spend your money. If you have money, make something with it. You never want to have a big bank of money unless you are already supply capped and you're on like 4 or 5 bases. You just can't make anything more. If you have stuff, then you will win against less stuff. The idea being that you want to have enough production facilities to keep up with the money that you are bringing in order to make units to kill the other units with. So, if you always have your money low, that means you are always building something. You are always going to be able to make something else as that money comes in. Do it. Do it. Hey. Do it. What do you think, Ripper?
That sounds all good to me. Let's get into some game action. I think that's what the people are here for.
Oh, you're getting a little excited, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Really
I love to
excited.
hear it. I am showing now the basic build order that I gave to you. This was basically one taken from a Wings of Liberty, an old build, and just kind of reduced down to the basic fundamentals. This is the one that you'll be focusing on today. And after this 22 supply mark is where you're going to deviate and go into whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it be like biomine production, or if you're going into mech play, and whatever kind of composition you're trying to do against whatever opponent that you're looking at. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and hop into some StarCraft 2. Or rather, I am going to hop into StarCraft 2 and get this set up quick like, because I do have a replay still loaded. Bad setup. Bad caster. Okay.
What was on the supply 22? I only got to past 17.
What?
That's all you told me.
No, I definitely told you more. After 17, you make that supply depot, and that's when you resume your marine production. On 21 supply, as soon as you get 100 gas, you make a factory, and then you make a bunker at your natural expansion just inside the choke point. And then on 22 supply, as soon as you hit 50 gas, you're going to, or as soon as you hit 50 gas and your third Marine is done, you're going to make a reactor on your barracks.
Okay.
And then from that point, if you're facing a Zerg, it's pretty typical to swap your factory and your barracks so that the factory has the reactor and you can start double producing Hellions until you hit 6 and then swap them back. Okay. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is we're going to make one against, we're going to do an AI match first, just so you can get a good feel for the build, and you'll be able to get your benchmarks and everything just for your macro. We're not looking at trying to win the game necessarily, we just want to get you a good benchmark for your macro. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the game all the way through, but then we're going to go to the replay, and we will, crap, just lost my train of thought. Caster fail. Coaching fail. Once we hit the 10-minute mark on the replay, we're going to take a look at your unit production and your SCV production.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and invite you, and let me switch it over so everybody else can see it too. Okay, StarCraft. Okay, he's in. I want to make myself a spectator and add the AI player. We're just going to put him on easy for now and make him a Zerg. And we're going to let him do any build. When you're playing against an AI, you can actually give it a specific or vaguely specific build to focus on. We're just going to leave it on any build though. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Alright, we're going to start it up. I'm not really going to give you any coaching throughout this, I just want you to go at it with the build that I've given you, and we'll see how it goes. Isn't this exciting? Man, I need to make some more SC2 art. I'm pretty good at this, I feel. If you haven't seen my SC2 art, I'm going to show it to you after this.
Picasso.
Okay. I'm just going to introduce the players. Alright, we're on Daybreak, which is a fairly neutral map. It doesn't really favor any race, I feel, specifically. It's one of my favorite maps. I think it's actually off the ladder now, which is kind of disappointing. I could be wrong, though. I haven't played enough to know. Also, I love the fucking clan tag. Fantastic. Need to get in on that. And anybody else that wants to get in on that, just let me know. So in the top right-hand corner of Daybreak, we have our hero, the Blue Terran, GGTV's own Ripper. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg, AI2 Easy. What a dick. We hate that guy. Okay. So we're just going to kind of keep up with the action here, see what's going on, see how everything goes, and then basically do the same thing in the replay. We'll go over it pretty quick in the replay though. I'm basically looking for benchmarks in the replay. Right here we're just trying to see how well the build order is followed, how well it works. And we're here to drink coffee. Delicious, cheap coffee.
Coffee.
Everybody should have coffee. Oh, yeah. I feel as though we should have music to this. Unfortunately, we do not. But that's okay. Perhaps next time. Also, I suppose I'm going to have to come up with a name for this series. Hopefully I'll be able to do it again with some other people. It'd be great. So, also, if anybody watching out there would like some coaching, I'll do it, for free. I don't mind. If you would like to participate, perhaps in another one of these series, another coaching if you're in bronze and you want help getting up to silver, just let me know, and I would be glad to take a look. Perhaps we can work something out, so get you in on some GGTV action yourself. Isn't that awesome? Let's see what this sneaky Zerg is doing. Ooh, isn't that sneaky?
Oh my god.
It's a lot to keep up with, isn't it? I'm already noticing some tweaks to make as well, which may help with people who don't quite have the speed necessary to get everything that needs to be done immediately. Because I know I've tried this build myself a couple of times, and it took a few tries to get the time down right.
Totally forgot my command center.
And remember, when you're doing these things, when you're trying to learn a new build, definitely write it down and have it there beside you, so that you can always refer to it as you're doing the build. And of course, that will slow you down. You're not going to be able to do it as quickly as if you already knew it, but while you're learning, it definitely helps. Oh man, that factory land fail. That's one thing I don't like about playing Terran. I have problems with the starport personally. Double Hellion production. And as a Zerg player myself, I absolutely am terrified of Hellions. Get 8 of them pretty quick into a base, and I play so greedy. So damn greedy. They murder me so bad. It's disgusting. It literally disgusts me. I piss every time I hear those things coming. Just a little bit though. Just enough to get the front of the pants wet. A little bit of wet pants at the Hellion sound. I'm sure a lot of Zergs feel that way. Maybe not a lot of Zergs. Maybe a few. Okay. Wow. Getting a little creative with it, aren't we? Getting that command center down there. Loves that. That's one thing I see with a lot of bronze players. They don't really expand. They want to do a lot of one-base plays, which are very strong, it's true, and they will win you games, but they don't really make you better. You need to learn, in my opinion, you need to learn macro before micro. And that will win you more games down the road, although it may win you less games up front. Totally worth it, in my opinion. We did see a ton of Zerglings just get roasted, and you see why my pants get a little bit wet every time I hear those damn Hellions. They did manage to get the Reaper, though. Getting 4 barracks at once. Coming up on the 10-minute mark. Coming up. Okay, a little bit of lag there. Coming up on the 10-minute mark, though. There we go. And that's going to be our base point, or our stopping point for benchmarks. We're going to take a look, after this game, we're going to take a look at what you have at that benchmark. And kind of go over what you could have, and we're going to use that to see your improvement later on. Very good stuff. All them SCVs. Looks like we missed a little bit of Hellion action, going up against some roaches. Chasing that overseer away, denying scouting. And guys, I know that's another big thing in StarCraft 2 is scouting, but at this point of the game, I don't think we're going to focus on that much. Maybe in the next episode. In this one, we're just focusing on some, like a basic build order, and keeping money down, spending the money, and just basic micro, really. Or basic macro, excuse me. Wow, that's a lot of mules. Them OP mules. Okay. Continuing denying scouting information. Got the Overlord. That's always a good win too. Killing the Overseer off like that lets you not only take down 8 of his supply, but also helps to deny scouting within a certain time frame. He's not going to be able to have another one over there for a while. He may already have an Overlord hidden, you know, in the dead airspace around one of your bases, and he could just morph another one, but still, that still denies for a certain amount of time. And it also, because you're using Widow Mines, denies detection at your base for a certain amount of time, which is always nice. It makes you feel a little bit safer. Them supply depots. Holy barracks, Batman. Killing all some Zergs. Taking down all them Zerg units. Filthy Terran. Oh man, Widow Mines? Don't even get me started about Widow Mines. All these Overseers, Jesus. This AI too really wants to get some scouting done. He's worried about what you might be doing. And what you might be doing includes a fuck ton of bio units. And once a Terran Deathball gets to this size, it is pretty damn scary. Especially because he has stem. Even though there's no support, there's only 2 Widow Mines, there's no medevacs. This is still frightening for any player. Oh man. All the Marauders. So we're coming up on the 17.5-minute mark now. Looking at 146 supply. 2 bases. A lot of barracks. Some tech going on. But like a short supply cap. But with that many barracks, man, I'm not gonna lie. Staying unsupply blocked can't be easy. That is a lot of barracks. That is a mean army. I'm not gonna lie. Just over 19 minutes, we're looking at 184 supply. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. Guys, I am sorry about the low quality of the video. I understand that I cannot stream at all, but I can record in decent quality. But StarCraft 2 does have to remain on low settings because my computer is not fantastic. But it's okay. Gets the job done. You are at 20.5 minutes at 194 supply, sir. How are you feeling?
Slow.
Slow. Okay. Okay. He said, I do not care if you have ultras. I've got like 1 million Marines and Marauders. Literally, right here, 1 million Marines and Marauders.
I have so many I can't fit them all into one grouping.
It's like StarCraft 1, you can only have 12 in one control group. Can you imagine that? I didn't play much StarCraft 1, but that just sounds awful. Also, you have entirely too much stuff for my computer. My poor computer. Gonna take down these rocks, which is it's an okay of an idea, I suppose. Over against Zerd, a lot of melee units need surface area to attack. Taking that down grants more surface area, but in this case, it really doesn't matter how much surface area there is. You could engage this on an open field and straight murder everything. Getting in there, taking down the hatch. All these drones are gonna die. Goodbye, drones. 99 drones. Goodbye. Au revoir. And the AI too easy throws out the GG. Good job, sir. Good game. Good game. And he says, F your GG. I want to kill everything you have anyway. It's a little BM, but against an AI, who cares, right? No baby. there and take it all away. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Okay, so let's take a look at the score screen real quick. So how did you feel that game went?
Terrible.
Terrible? Okay.
Oops. I did not mean to watch the solo replay.
Very nice. Okay, let's take a look at the graph here. The workers active. And a steady increase. Not bad. Your upgrades were a little slow at first, but then they took off, which is also good. Your resource collection. I want everybody to look at this graph right here, and I want you to notice this monumentous line, vertical line, straight up. And I want you to realize how mother effing OP mules are. Because if I'm not mistaken, that is exactly when he dropped all those mules. And then you see a little time later how they drop. And then they rise again. Hello, mules! And then they drop again. So that's what mules does for you. Mules do for you. And the army value starts out pretty low. The Zerg actually has a little better army for a short time, and then it just takes off. Okay, so that is that. What we're going to do now is go ahead and load up that replay, and I'm going to give you some pointers, some delicious, lovely pointers. Also, if you notice that I am in the Breaking Bronze NA chat. If you don't know what Breaking Bronze is, it is a group of wonderful people, specifically a streamer known as Doomby, who runs the show called Breaking Bronze. He does it pretty much every night except for Saturdays. He gets some coaching and things like that from players in the chat, specifically a guy named Troy who is a Masters Protoss player. And it is a great show. You learn a lot watching him learn, and he actually does something really cool and unique, which is viewer games. At the end of each stream, he'll cast a few games live on his stream from the viewers going up against other viewers who are of the same skill level, which is pretty fun. It's always fun to participate. So let's go ahead and jump into... Oh, you're not in my party. Why are you not in my party? Okay, that works too. Let's leave that and then just do it this way. Okay. Oh, make me the lobby host. Quick like, sir. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to load up this replay right now. I'm going to dissect it for you real quick. And we're going to take a look at that 10-minute benchmark, and we're going to write those down. So
Get your pen and your paper ready.
Exactly. I am.
Even though it really didn't help me because I totally forgot my command center at 16.
That did hurt you a lot, but that's okay. And obviously, you know, that was the biggest mistake of the game, was just forgetting the build order. So like I said, next time make sure you have it on paper next to you so you can refer to it. We're going to go ahead and speed it up. Actually, we're going to leave it alone. We're not going to speed it up. So the biggest thing was forgetting the build order, specifically that command center. That put you behind in economy a lot. But there are also a lot of things that I can point out, and some things that you can improve on.
SCV ready.
So yeah, we are going to go ahead and speed it up just a bit. And we're going to watch it from your point of view. Okay, so we're getting the supply depot. I didn't actually see if that was on time. I believe it was, though. You get a check mark for that. making more SCVs. So far, your SCV production is good. What I would like to see, one thing, is once you move that SCV down there to make that supply depot, go ahead and put him on control group 1. Are you using camera hotkeys right there?
Yeah, I
Very
set those
nice.
up
Okay,
earlier.
very good, very good. And that's something a little bit advanced. You don't see that a whole lot from beginning players, but that is absolutely fantastic that you are using them. Okay, getting the barracks again. I didn't actually see if that was on time. I assume it was. I'm mostly checking your SCV production right now,
SCV ready.
and you're not skipping any so far, so that's very good. But this is the point in the build where it does start to become a little more complicated once you have that production structure up and you're trying to keep up. Like right here, you're cutting SCVs. Oh wait, you're supposed to because you're going into an orbital. Or maybe you're supposed to have one more. No, that's right, okay. So, you cut them at the right time, which is good. You got that first Marine out, which is fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it real quick.
Paused.
At that point, as soon as you get that first Marine out, the best thing to do is to actually look for a scouting overlord. In this case, the AI didn't actually send one, but in a real game, you'll always have a Zerg player will send an overlord to the left side on this map. It's going to be the left side in that dead airspace right here. He's going to send his overlord out into this area. He may actually just run it straight through, but if he does, then your Marine can easily kill it. If he has it out here, your Marine's not going to be able to reach it, but you can leave it there just in case, or you can actually leave it at the bottom of the ramp down here to watch for scouting Zerglings or a scouting drone. But basically, as soon as that first Marine comes out, you want to put him in either one of the spots. I would definitely bring him up here. Wow, okay, slow down. Up here into this area to check for the scouting overlord. If you don't see him after a few seconds, run him down here and just kind of park him out in this area to watch for, specifically for the drone scout, if it hasn't come already. Okay.
Game resumed.
Getting that orbital command, getting your double refineries. This seems like it might be a little bit too much, because you're getting a ton of gas that you don't actually need yet. So maybe we'll do just one refinery instead of two. And you can see that your money's being
Game
floated
paused.
quite a bit right now, and that's
Yeah,
mainly
Because I should have built that command center. I should have been at 70.
right.
So
And
far.
you're
Game resumed.
And as soon as that orbital's done, you want to start making SCVs again, immediately. And you want to drop that mule as soon as it's done as well. Let's see. 17, supply depot, good. Start making Marines again after that, very good. You got your gas filled up, that's good. And then you see that you actually have a very low amount of SCVs on your mineral line because 3 of them are, wow, that always sucks when you do that. But you have 3 stuck in your gas, which you're not actually using enough of right now. So next time, I think make it 1 refinery instead of 2 refineries. That way you'll have 13 up here. But also because you're cutting SCVs. But like you said, you should have that command center right now. At least building right now. And it should be getting ready to go, and then you can do even more. But you see you're floating a lot. Factories going, that's good. Got these 2 Marines out here just chilling, that's alright. You're going to take out the Zergling if it tries to come in, getting a reactor, that's good. I'm going to get Zerg. You want to swap these 2 out and do reactor to Hellions. That was actually very good timing on that because it's floating over just as that Marine's done, so it can land very quickly. Very good on that. Finally remembered the command center. And like you said, that was a big issue with this build. Another one is you are cutting a lot of SCVs. What you want to do is, while you're doing other things, just constantly tap the 5 button and see if one's making. And then go back to what you're doing. and then a few seconds later, tap the 5 button again. See how far that one's along. Maybe you need to queue up another one. But that's good. That's good. And you're sitting on 12 SCVs. You're still cutting some every now and then. Remember, when you're playing, you don't want to cut any SCVs because this is a macro build. You do not want to cut SCVs except for that one point early in the build where it was specifically stated, where you have to while you're making your orbital command.
But I have to go real quick, but this is where we could take a break, and I'll be back for the other game.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and finish casting this and get your benchmarks and everything, and then we're going to take a break. Okay, so we've got continued cutting SCV. Okay. Crap. Skype just failed me. Continue producing SCVs, but they were cut a lot. This one needs to go ahead and land and get down here. Doubled reactor, or reactored Hellion production is good. As soon as you make this next one, or these next two, you should lift that off and put the barracks back on it, which I like. I like that you're... The only thing I don't like about getting the tech lab there is you're going to go ahead and make STEM now. And I know that you got the tech lab because you wanted to get Reapers out. Reapers are not good at this point in the game. They are only scouting units. They can get in very early against a Zerg and do some damage, but they are specifically for scouting. So you really don't want to make Reapers unless it's within, you know, the first few minutes of the game. Should be doing Marines. What you want to do at this point is swap these two, but you can't because STEM is researching, so I would wait on STEM. You don't really need it at this early point in the game. And then you're dropping 4 more barracks. 4 more barracks to eat up some of this money that you've got saved up. And you're doing fairly well on supply depots. I know you start making too many of them at once just to make sure. You don't really want to do that because once your build gets tight, you're not going to be able to afford that. Finally getting this one going. Again, cutting SCV production. You do have 4 SCVs out here on the line making barracks, which would normally put this one up to 15, but that's not so good. Maybe making 4 all at once isn't the way to go. Maybe be making 1 while you're making double SCVs and Marines or Marauders, whatever you're making out of your first one, and whatever you're making out of your factory there. So definitely don't make 4 all at once, and then also remember you have to shift click these guys back to the mineral line. So if you're holding shift, you can actually queue up commands. You can make them do all these different buildings, and then after you've queued those up, you can hold shift and then right click on a mineral patch and they'll go back to mining as soon as they're finished making whatever it is they're making. Okay. Forgot about the mules, so you get a ton of mules all at once. That's another thing you want to do. In addition to keeping up with SCV production, you want to make sure that you're using your energy on your command centers. Making mules specifically. You don't ever want to use the supply depot one. You do want to save some energy for scans if you feel like your opponent is going into cloaked units. Really, you only have to worry about that against Protoss. If you notice that they're going into a Dark Shrine, or you feel like they're going into a Dark Shrine for DTs, then save 50 energy on one of your command or your orbitals for an emergency scan. But the rest of the time, you should always be dropping mules as soon as you hit 50 energy. Okay, so now you have a lot of barracks. Double eBay. By this point in the game, that's good to have. You probably should already have +1 weapons, and then start dropping your second eBay. Start working on the rest of your upgrades, and you should probably already be up to this many barracks. Maybe not quite this many. Maybe 1 less. 8 barracks is a lot. I'd say 6 or 7 for 2 base economy would be good, because you should have some starports going already. Typically what you'll want to do is after that factory is made, you go ahead and make the starport and get one Viking out, send that Viking all over the map looking for overlords to kill off, which denies vision for your opponent and it supply blocks them, or lowers their supply at least, which is always annoying. So you should have continued SCV production. At this point you should already be taking a third base, continuing SCV production up to about 65. That should get you saturated all your bases, and that's when you'll want to stop. Once you hit about 65, because even though you're going to make a fourth base, you're going to take the saturated mineral line from your main and take that over to your third or your fourth once your main gets mined out or is very close to mined out. So 1 or 2 less barracks, 1 or 2 starports, and maybe some production from your factory would be good. More than just 2 of the Widow Mines. You want more than 2. Maybe use so that you're able to be offensive with them as well as defensive. And that's something you didn't notice too. I don't know if you even realized, but Overseers drop Changelings. That's one of their spells, and they look just like the base unit of whatever race that they encounter, the opponent race that they encounter first. So once it gets near your army, it's automatically going to turn into a Marine. It's going to look just like a Marine for you. And the only way to kill it is actually press A and then click on it. Your units will attack it and kill it off. What that does though is gives him vision, like in an area around it, just like it's one of his units. So he can actually see your army right now. You just have to be careful when you see an Overseer, you just want to look for Overseers or Changelings rather being dropped. Also, a scan will, or if it gets near a detector of any kind, it'll reveal it as a Changeling. Okay, so right now you only have 8 SCVs mining at your main, which is bad. You want to have 16. You only have 5 in gas. You should have 6. These 2 building 2 supply depots at a time is okay. You're doing okay at staying unsupply blocked. Making a couple of reactors. I don't know that you need quadruple starport production. Maybe you do at this time in the game, because you should be on 3 bases. And once you get on 3 bases, you want to get 4 more barracks. A good relative idea is to have 4 barracks per base. And I would say, if you're doing bioplay, 4 barracks plus 1 factory for Widow Mine production or tank production, depending on what you want to do. And for Widow Mine production, 1 factory, because you can put a reactor on it and you can get 2 at a time. If you want tank production, you're probably going to want 1, or you're probably going to want 2 factories, because you have to have a tech lab on both. And then 1 starport. So you should have 4 racks, or even 3 barracks, a factory, and a starport for each base. Is a good number. And even once you get up to 3 bases, I would say 2 starports with reactors and 2 factories would be plenty for your medevac / Viking production and your Widow Mine production. And just 4 barracks per base. Per mining base, rather. You don't want to be on like 5 bases and have 20 barracks. Maybe you do. It depends on the situation. If you get close to maxed out and you have a huge bank because you have nothing to spend it on, you do want to have extra barracks in order to remax very quickly. So if you have a big bank, definitely spend those on more production structures up to a certain point. That way you can remax very quickly if your army gets wiped out. Very good so far. You definitely want to have some more mines though. Mines or tanks. You want that AoE. Because typically you would be seeing Mutalisks, Lings, and Banelings. And Lings and Banelings are very, very susceptible to AoE damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and speed this up. My poor computer is going to have a heart attack. Get up to 200, 200, and then just go wipe them. Really, you don't want to do that. You want to get those Hellions out, do some damage with those, and then get up a decent sized force. You do not have to have a maxed out army to attack. Remember that. You really, what you're looking for is to do like timing attacks, which just means that there'll be a window between your upgrades and his upgrades. And you want to attack when your upgrades are finished, before his upgrades are finished optimally. You can't always do that. But your units will never be as good right after an upgrade until the next one. So, keep that in mind. But what we're going to do now, even though he is gone, we're going to go back and look at his 10-minute benchmarks. Not 6-minute benchmarks, 10-minute benchmarks. It should be here, I believe. That's
Game paused.
10 minutes. Okay. What we're going to do is look at his unit numbers. 10 minutes. We're going to write them down. He has 25 SCVs. Optimally, you want about double that. 6 Hellions. And 3 Marines. Let's see, I don't know the hotkey for structures. T. Should know that. He's got 1 barracks. One barracks, 1 factory. Each with an add-on. And we're just going to say add-on instead of specifically which one. 2 gas. And 2 orbitals. The supply doesn't matter how many supply depots you have, as long as you're doing them without getting supply blocked. As long as you're not getting supply blocked and you're not overmaking them, which he did a little bit in this game, but that's okay. We'll take a look at that later on. But that is it for part 1 of this coaching session. Part one of the coaching session. I need another cup of coffee. We need to take a little break for some personal issues. What are you doing, man? People knocking on the door ordering pizza. Oh yeah, if you enjoy pizza, go to pizza.gg or Google pizza.gg and check it out. Click on your favorite StarCraft hero. There's a list of different people there, and it will take you to a Papa John's pizza page. And if you enter the promo code PizzaGG, you'll actually get 50% off on your pizza. Cool. And actually, it all goes towards different things that the teams or the players are going to be doing based on how many pizzas are ordered through that system. And it's actually across the top. It says tier whatever, it's 1 through 10 right now, and if you hover over it, it shows what they're going to do, what they're going to give away, etc., for each tier reached. So go check that out. It's pretty cool. And you get a delicious pizza. However, for now, this is Iltris with GGTV signing off. I will be bringing you part 2 very soon, where we're going to step up and have our challenger Ripper face a human player with this build and see how he does. We're going to go into that replay as well, check his benchmarks, see how the improvement's going. Until then, peace.